Let's review what we have learned in this class. We started by learning about the developer.salesforce.com account. We created our free developer account. Then we logged into our Salesforce console and we learned a little about the development environment for force.com. Then we learned about what an application is. An application is a collection of components such as tabs, reports, dashboards, and visual force pages that address a specific business need. Salesforce provides standard apps such as sales and call center. You can customize the standard apps to match the way you work. Then we looked at some of the standard apps. Then we looked at some of the standard objects that you see up on top: home, chatter, campaigns, leads, and so on. Then we looked at the possibility of customizing standard objects. After that, we created our own custom app, and we made an application that allows individuals to order frozen food. Then we changed our app logo. We added our own logo to the application. Then we looked at an object. We looked at the structure of an object. We looked at what are the components of an object. Then we looked at the structure of our application. We looked at, we are going to create 3 objects. We're going to create an object called food inventory. We're going to create an object called customer name, and we're going to create an object called order. And we looked at how these objects are going to relate to each other. So we made the infrastructure for our application. After that, we created our first custom object, which was food inventory object. And after creating our food inventory object, we created a tab for our food inventory object. And then we created our first custom field within our food inventory object. And we, after creating our custom field in the food inventory object, we were able to add food items to our food inventory object. Then we worked on the search layout so that we could see the food inventory name and the quantity available and the unit price at the same time. After that, we created our next custom object, which was the customer name, the customer object. And we created a tab for the customer object as well. And so that way we could add new customers to the customer object. After that, we created our third custom object, which was going to be our junction object, which was orders. For the junction object, we created 2 master detail relationships, and if you remember, any junction object can only have up to 2 master detail relationships. And so we created 1 master detail relationship with customer, 1 master detail relationship with food inventory. After that, we placed an order, and we had the fields for we created an order name, and we picked up an item from food inventory, and we had a customer. And so the food the object that we created, the junction object, was on the customer, was showing on the customer object. So we'd create a customer, and then we would be able to place an order from within the customer. Then we created a validation rule. We learned about validation rules so that when we are creating a new order, the order can check against the inventory to make sure that we're not ordering more than what's available in the inventory. Then after that, we learned about workflow rules, and workflow rules allow you to change a field, send out an email, or create a task, or send out a message. And so we created a workflow rule and enabled that workflow rule so that it would update the inventory for our food items. After that, we created a new custom field, which was the formula field. The formula field was a cross-object formula field. which referred to the unit price and the quantity ordered and gave us the total for a particular order. And after that, we worked on the page layout so that we could have a grid view of our orders. And so the grid view looked like you could see the order name and the inventory name, whatever item this customer ordered. We could see the unit price, we could see the order quantity, and we could see the total order value. And finally, we created a summary report. And this way, we could see who has ordered what, and we learned about summary reports, how to create a report. And that was the end of the class. Thank you for taking the time to learn how to make a SalesForce application. We hope this information was very helpful to you.